going on, guys? About to check out this video from More Pegasus channel. Pegasus, but the channel is More Pegasus. And we're going to be looking at a video about Hasan Piker. Let's see what's going down.
Welcome back to a series so goated, even SpongeBob subscribed. In today's video, Hasan is back and has done an interview with the New York Times. He's now openly supporting stealing from grocery stores because it's ran by rich people and corporations.
Is that the newspaper that I turned down? Or was that Daily News? No, that was... Yeah, I think it might have been the same one.
Ironic. He claims he will.
And if you're wondering why, it's because I predicted the downfall of a few live streamers years ago that were doing way over the top things. Why is it glitching?
Insanely regarded take, and how he's actually undermining food banks with his broken logic. He says Hasan has never experienced being poor, and that's why he has these out-of-touch takes. He claims you need
Hey, what's up, FB?
to punish criminals more harshly to create a high-trust society. Hasan is once again playing defense for assassinations and murder. Asman has responded to Hasan blaming him for ruining the streaming community. Hasan continues his crash out over the Pragmata situation, saying gamers have lonely, depressed lives, unlike him, of course.
How can I be okay?
Subscribe or you start watching Hasan and become a criminal. You're gonna get locked up with Diddy Piker. You're cooked.
Let's all go stop it!
Now let's begin. Right, so Hasan is back and he has done a new interview with the New York Times. And he's apparently encouraging his fan base to commit crimes. Now, this time, it's not to murder capitalists or to block streets and prevent babies from reaching the hospital, but rather to commit theft. Just steal, apparently. Just commit robbery because it's okay, according to Hasan. So here we have the interview. The rich don't play by the rules, so why should I? Why petty theft might be the new political protest. Interesting. So justifying stealing, essentially. Hasan on if he supports stealing from Whole Foods in his discussion with the New York Times. I'm pro-stealing. Full chaos. Let's go.
Would you steal from Whole Foods?
You want to go first? Well,
You act like they down with that Negan from the Walking Dead lifestyle. Until somebody's up in your house walking around, going through your fridge, drinking your Kool-Aid, watching TV. Then Hasan's going to have a problem. He's not going to be like, hey, man, it's yours. If I'm walking around with his $15,000 jacket, just stretching it out because I got all these muscles. I'm purposely just making sure my shoulders is all out, messing up the jacket. He would have a problem.
Right, guys?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations.
Hey, what's up, Computer Blue?
Because, you know, they steal quite a bit more from their own workers. However, one thing that might even help your ethical dilemma is the fact that the automated process that they design, these companies know will increase shrink, right? So it's actually factored in. The lemons that you stole are factored into the bottom line of these mega corporations, regardless, and they still end up having increased profit margins because they no longer have to pay the cashiers that they used to hire, as opposed to this automated system, knowing full well that people are still going to be able to still steal a lot more efficiently, as a matter of fact, through the automated process.
Right. So apparently, it doesn't matter if you steal because corporations are rich. And I guess applying his logic.
You see my t-shirt? It's like a Batman version of Starry Night. That's the full time. Like a Batman version of the art picture. Y'all like it? I rock with it.
To himself, Hasan Piker is a multi-millionaire. So by that logic, people could steal something from him since he'll be okay, right? He has enough to live. He makes it from his stream. So It's such a stupid argument because it can be applied to him as well. And I really appreciate him going full mask off, right? That he's pro-stealing. He didn't even dance around it or anything. He's basically just encouraging his fan base to steal. And let me just explain this. Just because it's a big corporation doesn't change the equation at all. Stealing is wrong. It's a crime. If there is a law and you break it because you feel like it or you feel that, oh,
sounds nuts. Oh, they're too big. Well, it's a big company. They think people might steal, so it's okay. That's insane. That's like him blatantly telling his audience, go and shoplift, and I don't think that's okay. Me, I got like future sight from One Piece. I be seeing into the future. I know I'm broke now, but I'm working hard and I'm gonna get to a point where I'm up there in these streets. Don't rob me. Don't steal from me. That sounds insane. If I buy a business, that don't mean you can take from it. I will press charges. You going to jail. And I'm going to walk behind you and the police and do the you going to jail dance too. You going to jail. You going to jail. Just walking, following, pressing the fullest amount of charges. That's crazy. You know, I'm broken. I'm not running around stealing.
oh, this one doesn't apply to me because, oh, these people are richer than me, then that's a slippery slope, right? Because if you don't punish bad actors, you essentially end up with a society full of criminals. And it's no wonder why some parts of America are falling apart because they don't seem to punish criminals, right? And I feel like this whole thing is insane to me because I live in Singapore, right? And you know what happens if you steal in Singapore? You get jailed. You get locked up, all right, as you should, because you're taking from somebody else without paying and you're breaking the law. And you can't do that, right? And when you actually punish people...
Oh, what the hell it is over there? Hey, Harley, how you doing?
For committing crimes, turns out nobody steals, right? Because they're terrified to steal. They're terrified of the consequences, right? And that's how you get like a high trust society. Crazy how this is a controversial position, saying that stealing is wrong among like the Hasan Piker fans at least. And basically the counter argument to this is, according to Hasan, is basically like, oh yeah, it's only the starving homeless people that are stealing, right? They're just doing it for basic necessity. Meanwhile, they're stealing fucking TVs and perfumes and expensive like iPhones and shit, right? If you allow one person to steal, there's going to be 10 more scumbags who take advantage of that and try to make a quick buck, right? So even the interviewer points out that it's a slippery slope, right? Because they'll probably be forced to raise the prices in order to compensate for the stealing.
Totally. Well, I was looking things up, and shrinkage is roughly equal internally as externally. Like they expect it from their employees that they are sort of disenfranchising constantly.
Yeah.
But what about the argument that if everyone just starts stealing wantonly from the self-checkout machines, Whole Foods will eventually raise the prices?
Yeah, chaos, full chaos. Let's go. I mean, look,
Hasan is crazy. He's okay with them raising the prices. Thank you for the support, FB. So Hasan says he supports stealing from corporations because they steal from the poor, yet he supports corporations pushing propaganda to influence how poor people think. That's a bar. That's a bar, right? It don't make no sense. Hasan is a walking hypocrisy. Insane. Thank you again for the support. Yeah, Hasan is nasty as hell for that. That doesn't make sense.
I'm in favor of fast and free buses and also government owned storefronts. And, two of those policies, the mayor of this beautiful city is currently working on.
Would you encourage stealing in the same way from a Mamdani run city owned grocery store with lower prices? And why?
I would not. Because I feel like that's taxpayer funded, and the prices are this union labor, and the prices are also adjusted regardless.
Right, of course. So steal from the people that I don't like, but not from the people I like, of course, right? It's insane how he's admitting all of this openly, encouraging his fan base to commit crimes and rob stores. Because apparently by robbing these capitalist corporations, you somehow bring about communism? Hasan Piker logic. Just steal from stores, and if you keep stealing, eventually you'll destroy capitalism and you'll bankrupt them somehow. And then there'll have to be a new system. Hasan Piker will come in. He'll install communism like a new update, new patch update, and you'll automatically get free healthcare, cheap groceries.
I wonder if Hasan Piker fans ever watched the movie or read the book Animal Farm. Just one time, just go through it. Just, actually pay attention to the details too. See if you should be pushing Hasan to be a leader of anything. This dude is nasty.
And free buses. Of course, it makes complete sense. Pure responded, he encourages theft because he doesn't have to deal with the consequences and even benefits from the chaos by making content about the consequences and using them as a springboard to promote communism. Promotes theft, system breaks, complains it's broken, promotes a commie to fix it. Cheng's nephew is the type of person to complain about high trust societies, argue for their downfall, and then complain about the lack of high trust societies. He should really stop talking about things he has zero experience of. Really, it's like a cow telling a cat how to be a carnivore. To stop and stay in your super rich privilege lane. Biggest freaking regard of all time. He is really becoming contender. Really strange panel here. Hasan got rich from his granddad, doubling rent on small family-owned businesses, forcing them to go under. Yeah, we'll never forget the 30 houses, bruh. God damn.
And then in 2 years, we bought and sold 30 houses. 30 houses.
Yeah, I forget that it was 30. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Now, apparently he didn't stop there. Now he goes on to say that he himself would steal a car if he could, and he would have even encouraged stealing from the Louvre, right? Which, if you don't know, is a world-famous museum in Paris with the Mona Lisa. The New York Times platformed Hasan Piker under the Opinions podcast to promote theft as a form of protest. I'm pro-piracy. Would you pirate a car? Yes. Says he would steal from the Louvre if he could. We need to get back to cool crimes.
Yeah, no, I'm pro-piracy all the way, like across the board. Would you pirate a car? Yes. If you could, if one could pirate
a car,
it was just a classic thing back in the day. The government funded anti-piracy initiatives would be like, would you steal a car? I'm like, yeah, sure. If I could get away with it, if it was as easy as pirating IP, I would do it. Yeah.
What is wrong with him? You think he Thomas Crown? You think he, what's his name, Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious? Nah, bro. Nah, not at all.
Dine and dash from your local diner.
Never. Tip 35%. Mike's, come on.
No, I wouldn't do that. And if I saw somebody doing that, I'd probably pay for their meal.
Yeah. Would you steal a book from the library?
Never.
You lying.
No.
Would you steal from the Louvre?
Yes.
I would not be logistically capable of executing such a fact, but would I cheer on every news story of people that I see doing it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's cool. We gotta get back to cool crimes like that. Like, bank robberies, right? Stealing priceless artifacts, things of that nature. I feel like that's way cooler than the 7,000th new cryptocurrency scheme that people are engaging in.
Yeah, so we gotta get back.
You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, you nasty. You nasty fam, yeah. You know your name.
Nasty work. Super nasty. And worry, he think he in Ocean's 11. He think he George Clooney. Wow.
Back to cool crimes, says Hasan. How does this fucking tool have a fan base? He's admitting it. He's admitting that he would commit crimes. He's telling its fans that it's okay and it's morally justified somehow. Oh yeah, I would totally steal a car if it was easy. Oh yeah, we need to steal priceless artifacts and completely ignore that you're destroying historically significant art and culture, right? Stealing from the Louvre, for example, stealing the Mona Lisa, like that's obviously more than just sticking it to the capitalists, right? Not to mention this colossal regard just said, oh yeah, you should go rob banks as well. I mean, I was going to say unbelievable, but this is actually very believable from Mr. Murder here. Remember, guys, he's on the morally right side, committing crimes, breaking the law, having a complete chaos society full of a bunch of criminals. If everyone followed Hasan's advice, we'd be living in complete chaos. Everybody would be stealing from each other. There would be no safety, no private property, which is kind of what he's going for, I suppose. And the most ironic thing is, Hasan would be the first person stolen from, because
I'm a supporter of private property rights. I get property. You can't just run up on my joint like CJ from San Andreas. That's crazy. And I wouldn't try to do it to anyone else. That is wow, bro.
Rich multimillionaire living in Hollywood. He has no idea what he's advocating for. He thinks that, okay, they'll actually spare me, right? Because I'm the one who ushered in the communism. What a useful idiot. And I don't know how regarded you have to be like, oh yeah, let's steal from the rich people. They're not human anyways, right? So just take all their shit by force, break the law, while he somehow brainwashes himself into thinking that he isn't actually rich just by being a multimillionaire. Brother, you're the person they're talking about. They're going to steal from you. It's funny because in the Louvre, the art is available to the public. Once stolen, it is in private hands. Weird for the communists to be pushing for this, but no, a museum is super capitalist. Oh my God, it's too expensive for regular people to afford. Therefore, it should be completely shut down. Obviously, says Hasan in his $5,000 outfit, buying Gucci bags and supercars. When you're thinking about all the snacks you can steal, you know, I will say that she's actually the most sane person on this podcast somehow, or maybe she was just presenting the questions that other people were asking, or like playing devil's advocate. Probably. But it does seem so that she agrees with Hasan. Right, so Asmongold responded, and he particularly talks about the food banks, considering he has some personal experience because he actually grew up broke.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because
I ain't come on stream with a robe on in a while. I'm about to bring that back. I'm about to bring back the robe, nigga. Shoot, it's in my thumbnail for the live stream. Might as well bring back the big puffy robe.
You know, they steal quite a bit more from their own workers.
If everybody stole from the corporations, then they wouldn't work. Like, how could you be pro stealing? Like, if people stole from then they wouldn't be. How could you run a business if people keep stealing the stuff out of the business?
Facts.
I don't understand. Like, how is that? It's not sustainable. Like, what is it? It's an insane statement. Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, I don't. What? And what happens when it gets factored into the bottom line is then that the costs get offset back onto the consumer. This is so only a retard could have this opinion. No normal person could have this, and you have to be like an advanced retard to think like this. And you have to keep in mind this is very important because Hasan, as we all know, grew up as a rich boy. He did. He grew up like a rich boy. Facts. And he was, riding around on horses, playing polo. Oh, look at me. I'm a good boy with my special hat.
I refuse to ride a horse. I'm cool. I just don't think it is necessary currently for me to end up like Christopher Reeves. I'm good. Why risk it? I'm cool. So yeah, I'm all right. No shame. If you ride horses, you gangster. I'm not going near a horse. The zombie apocalypse happened. I'm moving on foot, car, or bicycle. And if I could possibly build a tank, that would be cool too as well. Hypothetically, in a video game. Just saying.
You don't understand the way that poor people get money and they eat food. Let me explain it to you. There are food banks for people who don't have the income and the resources available that they can simply get that food for free, where it's accounted for, it's subsidized, and it's paid for either by charities, churches, the state, or a combination. So when you choose to go inside of a Whole Foods and you steal something from a Whole Foods, you are foregoing the existing structural socialist design of food banks, of other forms of supplemental assistance that allow people to get food whenever they're poor. It is the most selfish, self-centered, stupid, short-sighted, and unnecessary thing to ever do.
That's true.
You should never do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. You are basically undermining the very thing that you should be advocating for, right? The food banks. But the problem is Hasan Piker has never had an intelligent thought in it.
I didn't even think about that. The better the business do, the more that they can donate to food banks. If you're stealing, then they're going to have to take whatever they was about to donate and then use it for their own supply now. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
His head. In his mind, everything is so black and white. Rich person equals bad, right? And that somehow does not include him. He is just exempt from everything. Essentially, what he wants is all rich people to get robbed and then to redistribute that wealth, which sounds good on paper until you realize that, hey, you have the potential to become rich as well if you're actually successful in your career. And second off, ignoring the disastrous
future sight, bro. I don't want people stealing from me.
Consequences that's going to have for anybody to create anything. Why would you ever work hard if your money is just going to be taken away from you, right? And this is why, you know, when people start getting taxed more than 50%, you really start getting fucking pissed off. And I feel like it's really getting to the point where Hasan is actually doing so much harm, right? He knows he has this cult fan base that is going to listen to every single word that he ever says, right? So when he's out here justifying robbery, justifying murder, justifying all these heinous things, breaking the law, it's not going to end well. And the thing is, Hasan is going to be sitting in his mansion. Meanwhile, one of his fans is going to listen to him. They're going to actually try to steal. They're going to get caught. They're going to get jailed. And then Hasan walks free. And I guess if you're in New York, you walk free too, because God knows what the fuck is going on there. But you're always the one taking the risk. You're the one in danger, right? So then Asmund talks about how in many places now they're like locking up the grocery store items. Like if there's milk in the fridge, they're locking that up because people are just.
So you grew up riding horses? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I just don't have it in me. I'm telling you. I know one bad move from that horse and I'm going to go flying.
Stealing it or whatever, right?
This is why food stores close down. This is why a Dunkin' Donuts shuts down in the middle of Chicago because they keep getting robbed, or a CVS stops, you know, like selling things in a New York or something, or some other fucking high crime area in the LA area. Like it's tremendously detrimental. There are a lot of people that do steal for necessity. But when you're stealing makeup, you're not doing it for necessity. When you're stealing potato chips, you're not doing it for necessity. When you're stealing shoes or hairspray, this isn't necessity. I went to buy underwear at Walmart, and she made me tell her which underwear I wanted. She wouldn't let me touch it. And then I said I wanted to check out, and she hand carried the underwear from the
Oh no, yeah, no. I would tell her to take it back. I can't do that. If you following me in the store, I'm just not going to spend my money there. If you are acting that, like, I guess, secure about your belongings within a store, which I understand, but it's going to make me uncomfortable. I don't mind you locking it up behind these glass cases to where I got to come and get you so you can open it for me so I can get what I want. I'm okay with that. But damn, like, you gonna walk it? I can't even hold it? I'm cool. I might as well just order it online.
Underwear section to the fucking cashier, and they gave it to the cashier. It was like, I mean, I'm in my 30s now, so like it wasn't embarrassing. But like if I was like 16, I would have been mortified by this, right? And so it's wild, exactly. And so why? Because they don't want people to steal it, because people keep stealing it. This is what this panel is it's three upper middle class or upper class liberals that are basically circle jerking each other for stealing lemons from Wendy's or Walmart or Whole Foods. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
Oh, absolutely. It is extremely out of touch, right? And Hasan would have you believe that, oh, they stole the 10 latest Pokemon boxes, right? Wow, they stole 50 iPhones from the Apple store. It must be their necessities, right? It's the bare necessities they need to survive. And I've seen some of those videos of like items locked up at stores. And that is so funny and insane. I legitimately thought it was like a skit or not real, but apparently that's a real thing that happens in some places in America.
That's a real thing. I thought like it was something crazy when they did it with soap.
I mean, I can't imagine having like such a low trust society that you actually have to resort to locking up basic groceries or general items, right? Dude, I once left my headphones at the gym for like an entire week and it was completely untouched, right? And every day I wake up and I'm grateful to be living in a place where, you know, it's a high trust society. Damn. People are great.
Untouched. That's insane. I left my headphones on a table near the elevator. This was crazy. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This happened in my building like maybe a few months back. Had new headphones. I put it right there, bro. Right on the table. I went to go get a delivery because my Bluetooth was connected. I'm like, you know what? Let me just leave it. No one's going to take it. I came back upstairs, missing. Gone. I'm like, what? I look around. I see this lady. She peeping outside her door. I walk up. Yo, did you take my headphones? She goes, oh, those are yours? Miss, you just grab some. They're still on. Music is coming out of them. As she's passing me, I can still hear the music playing. You didn't even care what it was connected to. You just that quick. So yeah, it's nasty. I would never even think to do that. I wouldn't even want somebody's headphones if I found it right there. Like, what? But that just shows you like where we're at in America, especially.
You don't actually steal, and you can sort of rest easy with your items. And, you know, in general, you don't have to constantly be on guard. It's a pretty safe place as well. So I really feel for some of you guys living in places with Hasan Piker fans who are essentially just criminals at this point. And I've been saying it all this time. The consequences of Hasan Piker will be studied for generations, right? The Legendary series will literally become a digital textbook. You think I'm kidding, but you're witnessing history in the making. Hasan is no longer a niche internet micro celebrity, right? But rather a representative of the decay of modern society as a whole. He represents everything wrong in this world, right? Justifying criminal activity. And we will fight the evils of Diddy Piker, no matter how long it takes. So then
it's true. The way he is spreading to do that nasty actions are, yeah, it makes sense. He's bugging out. Hasan is a nasty, nasty man.
Hasan talks about how you need to be punishing criminals more harshly, and he's obviously exaggerating here.
I think we need to treat these thieves more harshly. I do. I think I want to see people that are stealing lemons. I want to see them get tackled, thrown to the ground, handcuffed, hogtied, and dragged into the police vehicle. I am so sick of these animals ruining my society. We used to have a country. We did. We used to have a country, and now we have a bunch of fat liberal. And by the way, any of those women on the panel would not even dream of stealing. They would be mortified at the idea of it. They would be terrified of this. They're all LARPing so they can virtue signal to their retard audience. None of the people doing this, Hasan's not stealing things. He's not even going to the store. He's probably having it delivered. So it's not even a possibility that it's happening in the first place. So these people are basically, they're writing checks that you have to cash. Now it's you that's the one that's affected.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hasan is not doing the stealing himself. He's telling you to do it, right? Because he doesn't need to steal, right? He's just going to order fucking delivery from the store, all right? I know because I do it too. That's what unemployed people do, all right? Sometimes you need to make the Legendary series and you don't have time to.
He says it's cheaper.
But unemployed people do.
Honestly, yeah, I've seen some deals where you can get groceries for cheaper if you get it online.
All right, sometimes you need to make the Legendary series and you don't have time to go to the store, all right? No, but honestly, this guy's such a piece of shit because he wants all his fans to take all the risk, right? Do the revolution. Go, my minions. Do all the shit. Loot the stores. Rob the rich people. Assassinate my targets. And I, Hasan Piker, will come to power. But yeah, about being harsher on crime, listen, I'm not saying that it works. But based on my experience, it kind of works, all right? Because then you become sort of terrified to commit any crimes, as it should be. Yeah. And then there's less crime in general because you realize that, hey, if I actually commit this petty theft, I'm going to prison for fucking 5 years, right? Even if it's overly harsh or something, it's a deterrent for anybody else to do it, right?
What?
Pure responded, "Hey, fellow poors, I too understand the struggle. My parents did have a maid for a day, and I almost had to do the dishes. I'm like you. I almost couldn't shuck my horse. My horse almost couldn't carry my friggin'-sized booty." The people that pay for theft are the people who don't steal. This guy pretending to be Robin Hood while living in his mansion. This guy needs to be deplatformed. This is the worst part, bro. He's the biggest LARPer. Remember, he's pro petty theft until the petty theft directly affects him in a negative way. Bro, you know what would make Hasan crash out? If somebody stole a shock collar. Because he's going to be like, no, I need a shock collar. No, I can't get through the day without bzzz. If California were a person, I'm almost a middle-aged man with millions to my name, and I somehow possess the economic literacy of a 7th grader. Okay, that's pretty optimistic, I'd say. More like a preschooler. Pro-crime. You can't make this shit up. You don't have to, because he's admitting it. You present this to Hasan Piker fans, and somehow they'll justify it. Him explicitly advocating to break the law. The more I learn about people, the more I like my dog. This is definitely the opposite for Hasan. The more he hates his dog, the more he shocks his dog. They do realize you're stealing from the employees, right? You steal enough and the employees lose their jobs. No, we cannot do any level of advanced thinking, right? It's only the basic level of thinking. All right, this packet of chips is owned by this corporation. By stealing it, I'm stealing from the rich people. Nobody else is affected, of course. Right, so then Hasan tries to justify murder and assassinations again. In the new New York Times interview, Hasan says that many understand Luigi Mangione killing the United Healthcare CEO because he himself was guilty of social murder.
Engels wrote about the concept of social murder. And Brian Thompson, as the United Healthcare CEO, was engaging in a tremendous amount of social murder, the systematized forms of violence, the structural violence of poverty, the for-profit paywalled system of healthcare in this country. And the consequences of that are tremendous amounts of pain, tremendous amounts of violence, tremendous amounts of deaths. And that was a fascinating story for me, because Americans are very draconian about crime and punishment. They're very black and white on this issue. And yet, because of the pervasive pain that the private healthcare system had created for the average American, I saw so many people immediately understand why this death had taken place.
Right. So here's the problem with this, right? You can hate the CEO guy a lot. You can hate everything he stands for, hate his very existence. Personally, you guys know, if you're OGs to the channel, I hate the greedy ass corporations who charge an insane amount of money for medications that people desperately need. I think the whole exploitative healthcare industry is the most disgusting, evil shit to ever exist. Bottom of the barrel shit, right?
It's pretty nasty. They be charging your arm and a leg for you to save your arm and leg. Yo, it gets crazy. Fam, even if you just get a ride in an ambulance, bro, the price on that is ridiculous. You go in there for some damn, something for your headache, you getting charged thousands of dollars. That don't make no sense, bro. It's insane.
But at the same time, you cannot justify vigilante action and murder, because where does that road lead? It is the most slippery slope there is, because it starts with that guy and then it goes to somebody else. You can make an infinite amount of justifications. Oh, well, I'm sure the CEO of Coca-Cola has somewhat led to the death of millions by selling everybody horrible soda, poisoning your body, making you unhealthy. Some guy realizes his mom drank 40 cans of Coke a day and she died. He gets mad at the Coke CEO and tries to assassinate him for making an addictive beverage, right? He goes and commits murder. Hasan stands there and goes, well, I get it. I totally understand. Props to you. And spoiler alert, you can literally do this to dozens and hundreds of companies, hundreds of their CEOs. You can even do this to hundreds of people. Oh, I don't like what this guy says. He's inspiring a bunch of shit, and therefore X thing is justified. And this is why sane and rational people every time, including me, will denounce any sort of violence or threats against anyone, even our enemies, because that's not how society should run. It is never okay. Make no mistake, this guy would slit your throat if ever in position of complete control, and your views wouldn't align with his. Nope, he wouldn't do it himself. He'll have one of his minions do it. He would happily watch people murder following his trash commie logic. This is what moral bankruptcy looks like. This dude straight up just promoted assassinations in their face. By the way, hilarious. Social murder, horrible. Real murder? No, that's just fine. That's just fine, actually. Moving on to Hasan going after Asmongold and XQC for ruining the streaming community. Basically, a little while back, they all used to be friends, believe it or not, and actually get along. And apparently somebody ruined it. Definitely not Hasan, of course. So everyone's responding. Asmon responds to Hasan, placing the blame on him and others, contributing to the fractured streamer environment. Says it started with Piker and Pokimane.
There used to be some kind of a sense of community, right?
The reason why the community died is because Hasan and a number of other people wanted to virtue signal about how bad gambling was. And that was actually if you go back and you look at the timeline for all of this, the actual fracture began with gambling. Like, I was also against the gambling too, but I didn't do so from like this moral high ground, I'm better than you perspective. That's why I maintained relationships with all these people. So what really happened is that, at a certain point, people started taking gambling deals. This was like 2020, 2021, 2022, especially 2022. And prior to that, Hasan's right that there was a lot more understanding, camaraderie, etc. But I think what happened is that COVID made everybody really, really popular. And it basically 2x'd Twitch's popularity. And it turned a lot of streamers into like celebrities, kind of. I mean, I'm not like Brad Pitt or something like that, but it made streamers and like content creators much more known. Then people saw that level of fame, popularity, money, and notoriety. And they said, well, I want a slice of the pie. I want a piece of that. As soon as it stopped going up, when the well runs dry, people began to eat each other. And that's exactly what happened, is that the moment that people like XQC, Train, and other people took gambling sponsorships, there were people like Hasan, Pokimane, me to a lesser extent, other people also, that virtue signaled so hard and farmed so much hate against the gambling sponsorships. And that's actually where the transition happened, where basically you were trying to tell somebody else what they're allowed to do on their stream, what they're allowed to get a sponsor for. And fundamentally, you can disagree with gambling, but at the same time, the amount of personal attacks and personal accountability that you tried to assign these different creators for doing this was, in my opinion, it was aggressive. It was very aggressive. And in doing that, you made them your enemy, because at the end of the day, it's his stream. He's going to do what he wants in his stream.
Yep, this is in the Diddy Piker playbook on page 77. A classic case of Hasan Piker revisionist history.
Facts. Hasan just be making up whatever he want the truth to be. Hey, what's up, Snuffles? How you doing? Stu, how are you? Yeah, Hasan's a straight liar. I wouldn't trust anything that he says at all.
Enough time passes, you can just lie about everything and nobody will remember, right? And I guarantee you, in the next few years, if Hasan doesn't get arrested, or maybe from jail as well, Hasan will totally change his story about shocking Kaya again. He might even claim it's AI, because after a couple years, you wouldn't know if you weren't there, right? Now, luckily, we have the legendary series to document history, but brain-dead Hasan fans will literally close their eyes and close any clips that, show them the truth.
You cannot cut the prongs off of that, man. That's what I'm saying. The cope is so hard with a lot of people on this.
Like the electric prongs are taken out of it.
But here's my thing, right?
Oh, I don't want to watch any more of this.
And yeah, obviously, even I think gambling is pretty bad. That's a pretty common take. Personally, wouldn't take a sponsorship, but you can't be surprised people don't like you after you essentially said they are the worst people ever, completely morally bankrupt, and now you want to be friends with them. Right now, you're saying, wow, we're not all friends. Maybe because you said they're the worst people ever, dude. And the worst part is they don't care about gambling. They don't care about this shit. They were just mad that XQC got a better deal than them. And his audience actually accepted it, right? Because Pokimane and Hasan could never take a gambling deal because they'd get canceled immediately by their audience, right? So it's not about morals, of which Pokimane
What's up, Bubbles?
and Hasan have nothing. They are just salty. They're salty. They're not more virtuous than XQC. They try to pretend, but they are much worse.
Hasan acting like he doesn't do that. See, this is what I mean. Buddy, this is the first time I have talked about anything that has been going on in the streaming space in like the last 5 months.
Right. Just keep in mind that whenever somebody asked him about clavicular and Hasan dropped like 7th level like lore about like clavicular's girlfriends and like previous people that he was in a club with, don't ever let him tell you that he's above this, okay? Like, he's sitting there watching reels of this shit. Like, I didn't even know this stuff.
Okay, we all know that Hasan is the biggest consumer of internet drama. Bro is locked the fuck in. He is tapped in, watching every single episode. He's what I call a closet slop viewer, right? We all know you're watching. Say hi to Hasan, everybody. Every episode, right? Favorite channel.
Morpeg has made a dozen videos about you in the past few days. I love that guy. That guy is my favorite YouTuber, honestly.
But the thing is, he can't let his audience know or they will eat him alive. But you just know from the way he talks, and he seemingly knows about every situation regarding everything, from the slop tubers to niche internet drama. Somehow he's just caught up on everything, right? Moving on to Hasan continuing to crash out over the Pragmata situation. Basically, context, he pissed off all the gamers after calling them loser incels who eat hot Cheetos, who will never start a family. And he's just constantly trying to fight back here.
Yeah, I don't really care. My opinion of incel gamers, not like all gamers, I myself would identify as one as well. And people who enjoy video games broadly, I have no issue with. But my opinion of the very specific type of incel right-wing video game commentary people is lower than dirt. There is no opinion that I have lower than the opinion I have of them. So who gives a fuck? Let them chirp. You know, they're already unbelievably sad. They live incredibly depressed lives. And every single day is yet another opportunity for them to try and make others just as sad as they are. So if that keeps them alive, keep it going, buddy. I'm glad that I've given you more life for one additional day. Take the gun out of your mouth, big dog. Wow. Outlaw gamers. That's what I say. Outlaw gamers.
Yeah, interesting. Gamers totally care about what Hasan thinks. That's their top priority, of course. Of course, gamers live lower than dirt, you know, depressed lives. Meanwhile, him.
How can I be okay? I hate all of you. I hate woke. I hate the left. I hate the woke.
Also, getting very edgy, Hasan implies all gamers want to neck themselves because their lives suck. No, fact of the matter is they're actually hopeful and thriving and starting families. Another case of Diddy Piker projection. Also, of course, LSF covering for him. Removed Hasan's viral take about lonely gamers. Out of context content. Oh my fucking god, bro. They actually fell for the Hasan propaganda. Out of context! We literally saw the entire context like 50 times, bro. Right, so Asman responded.
All of these
How are you going to find a way to get mad? Let's find out.
Unfuckable losers in the gaming sphere always talk about like starting families and stuff. If you're a fucking lonely gamer who has never been around a woman and will never...
What year is this? Like, I mean, I knew Hasan was getting old, but this is really bad. I mean, this is like a comment that like a 60-year-old man would make.
Yo, that's crazy.
I mean, really, oh, you know, you play them video games, you ain't know what a woman is. Not like me. This is like it's an take. It is. This is crazy. How are you not even 40 and you're doing this?
Ever have sex with a woman? Why do you care? Like, why do you care about having children or like riding for having children? Like, if they change,
well, because maybe they want to. Like, I don't know. I feel like doesn't that make sense though? Right? I mean, like
hot Cheetos. If they change the recipe of hot Cheetos, if they change the recipe of like, I don't know, Dr. Pepper or something, and you fucking freaked out about.
Well, speaking of that, if you look at these hot Cheetos, You see, the bag, it used to have $1, like the $1 printed on the side here. And remember that? You go to 7-Eleven, you go to...
The fact that he got some flaming hot Cheetos just out. He just had it on deck. And it's, I happen to have some right here. It's crazy. Yo, that is wild. I mean, just so happened to have some hot Cheetos just handy.
Quick Trip, and you see the $1 printed right there on there. Where is it? Where's the $1? Oh, that's right. It's not on there anymore because it's 3.
No way bro pulled out the hot Cheetos. He had that ready. Also, what the fuck is that packaging, right? That looks so ugly. I remember it was like this flaming orange packet. Am I that old? Oh my God, bro. I think the last time I had Cheetos was like 7 years ago. Luckily, I don't eat dog shit, poison ass food anymore. That is basically mega corporations trying to shovel trash down your gullet, right? So neither should you. Don't eat this trash, right? You feel a billion times better eating actual whole foods.
I need to get some more like vegetables. But I've heard of people eating like tons of bags of like hot Cheetos and getting sick because you ate too much. That's crazy.
But yeah, at least Asmon can take a joke, right? And make things lighthearted. Hasan is always so miserable. I actually do worry for him. Like at the old age of Hasan, this shit can, the stress level can really affect your health. So then Asmon realizes that this entire rant about gamers is actually just about him.
Like that's precisely what your life is about.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
just like, he's talking about me, by the way. Like, I mean, this entire rant is just a proxy rant about me. He's thinking about me. He's talking about me. It's entirely about me. So just keep all that in mind. Okay, guys, it's very important not to forget.
LARPing about starting families and whatnot.
Right.
This is something that I never understand. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe there's people that want to start a family. They feel like they can't for just, like any reason. Who knows?
Yup. I mean, I pointed this out as well, that he was basically talking about Asmongold's audience, right? He wanted to talk about gamers because that's what he perceives Asmon's fan base as, right? And I think we really need to apply this filter more. Anytime Hasan is ranting about anything, you got to realize that it's probably in some way directly related to Asmongold, right? It's either him directly mentioning his name, or it's by proxy, by saying gamers or incels or insert some other fucking buzzword. It's just tragic, man. Your one true love, you cannot have him. It must hurt a lot. The copium goes crazy. Pure responded to only one shot this guy. Well, I wouldn't want this guy to have a kid. I mean, can you imagine the values he would teach this kid? Committing crimes is okay as long as you steal from the rich people. Committing murder is okay as long as you assassinate wealthy CEOs. Lying is OP. Old enough to count. Old enough to... Okay, we need to stop. His kid would probably have a shock collar. True. If Hasan had children, they would be in the background 24/7, afraid of their own father every time he raised his voice. Yeah, they would be put in the background of his frame. If they dared to move, they'd get shocked, right? Literally just a replacement for Kaya. Hasan fatigue. Now click this video.
Shout outs to More Pegasus. Oh, my bad. Pegasus in the More Pegasus channel. Hasan is a nasty, hypocritical loser who says the most disgusting things. It's because he honestly be feeling that way. But tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit the hype button.